Welcome to the online training program on Project Management Professional. Project Management Professional or PMP is a globally recognized certification which authorizes that a PMP certified professional has all the necessary skills and knowledge to manage and execute a project successfully. The PMP course is not restricted to a particular business function, say IT. Rather, it outlines processes which can be used across various domains, be it infrastructure, IT, or any other. Before we move ahead, let me just tell you what are we going to cover in this entire course. We will first introduce ourselves to PMP. Then we will learn some important basic concepts and then subsequently move on to learn about PMP in detail. The entire PMP course will be covered under 10 knowledge areas. First, integration management, scope management, time management, cost management, quality management, HR management, communication management, risk management, procurement management, and finally stakeholder management. At last, we will learn about the steps involved to become a PMP and register for PMP examination. To begin with, let us first understand as to why we need PMP. We will then move on to learn the concept of a project, which is the foundation stone of PMP. We will learn the characteristics of a project. We will try to differentiate between project and operations. Then we will move on to understand what is project management. How is the PMP course subdivided into process groups, knowledge areas? What are the various project constraints? Then what is a program and a portfolio? Why PMP? In the next couple of slides, we will try to answer a couple of questions. First, why project management is required? Second, what are the advantages of project management? And third, why PMP is required as a formal project management certification? There are various reasons which have led to an increasing demand for professional project managers. Today's fast growing businesses are focusing more on large projects with high values, which require proper knowledge and skill sets for managing. With their presence in multiple countries, organizations are also executing projects in a global delivery model where teams are distributed across the globe in different work environments. If we talk about IT projects, they typically have a terrible track record with only 16% success rate. Now, what are the advantages of using a formal project management? Considering the challenges outlined before, project management was formally accepted as a profession with a set of processes and tools. Lot of organizations have been benefited with the advantages of using formal project management. Efficient project management results in lower costs and avoids cost overruns. It allows for better control of resources and shorter development time, which ultimately improves relationship with the client. Lower costs would result in higher profit, while better resource control would lead to an improved productivity and higher motivation levels within the team. Adopting project management best practices leads to higher quality product with increased reliability. It also provides guidelines for better internal and external communications. Coming to a project is the most fundamental concept that we need to understand. Without projects, there is no PMP. PMBOK defines project as a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. We will try to understand this definition in details in the next slides. Characteristics of a project. The temporary nature of the project doesn't mean that the project duration should be short. It means that a project has a definite start and end. Now, how do we define a project's end? Every project must have at least one objective. When that project objective is achieved, the project is supposed to reach an end. There might be another scenario when a project can come to an end, the scenario of termination. Projects are mostly terminated because its objectives cannot be met or when the project is no longer required. Another characteristic of a project is unique service or result. Any day-to-day work which is done on an ongoing basis cannot be called as project. There has to be a unique outcome, whether it is tangible or intangible. During the execution of a project, there might be some repetitive activities, but those repetitive activities do not change the unique characteristics of a project. For example, during the development of a software product, there might be multiple iterations of testing, but at the end, each development is unique, resulting in a product with specific features. Hence, the development of software products will be called as a project. Third characteristic of a project is progressive elaboration, which means that a project planning is done for the near future activities for which the details are sufficiently available. This is an iterative way of planning, and as and when more accurate estimates and information are available, project management plans are updated with more details. Progressive elaboration is also called as rolling wave planning. Some of the examples of a project are developing a new product, service, or result, developing or acquiring a new or modified information system, constructing a building, industrial plant, or infrastructure, implementing, improving, or enhancing existing business processes. Now, why are projects generally undertaken? Projects are mostly undertaken to address any market demand, any business need or strategic opportunity, customer request, technological advancement, or legal requirements. Now let us try to differentiate between project and operations. As I told before, any day-to-day activity which is carried on an ongoing basis is called as operation. We have already understood the concept of project in our previous slides and also briefly understood operations. Let us take the example of an automobile company. In an automobile company, the manufacturing of cars in assembly line is a day-to-day activity which is carried on an ongoing basis. This is an example of operation. On the other hand, when the company takes up or decides to design a new car or develop a prototype of a new car, that is called a project because it has an objective. It will have a definite start and end. The objective of that project is to develop the prototype, and there would be timelines bound to that project. Having understood the concept of project and operations, Let me briefly tell you the similarities as well as differences between project and operations. Both project and operations are performed by people, both are constrained by limited resources, and both are planned, executed, and controlled. Coming to the differences, projects are temporary while operations are ongoing. Projects are unique while operations are repetitive. Projects have an end, they do close after attaining the objectives. Operations have no end, they are done for sustaining the business. Now, what is project management? Having understood the concept of project, let us now understand what project management is. PMBOK defines project management as the application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to project activities to meet the project requirements. Managing a project typically includes identifying requirements, addressing the various needs, concerns, and expectations of the stakeholders, carrying out communications among stakeholders, managing stakeholders towards meeting project requirements and creating project deliverables, etc. Project management is accomplished through appropriate application and integration of the 47 logically grouped project management processes. These 47 processes are categorized into 5 process groups. First, initiating process group, planning process group, executing process group, controlling process group, and closing process group. Let me give you a brief introduction of all these processes groups. Initiating process groups includes those processes which are performed to start a new project or start a new phase of an existing project. Planning process group. It includes those processes which are required to establish the scope of the project, refine the objectives, and define the further course of action. Basically, in this process group, we do all the planning related to the project, be it defining the scope, be it estimation, be it creating a project management plan, be it creating a communication plan, etc. Third, executing process group. This is the process group which acquires most of the time of a project. In this phase or in this process group, the project is actually executed. Whatever plans had been made in the planning process group are brought into action in the executing process group. Next is monitoring and controlling. As the name suggests, in this process group, the plans, the performance, whatever has been planned for the project, that is monitored and controlled. There are various parameters based on which the monitoring and controlling is done, and the project progress is calculated. If there is any deviation or any change from the plan that is observed, relevant steps are undertaken to control that process or bring the project under control. Last is the closing process group. It includes those processes which need to be performed to close the project or the phase of the project. We will learn about these process groups in more details later in the course.